Someone who wrote on the internet, all this new hyped update policy, 7 years of updates is bullshit, because do you still use a 5-year-old phone even nowadays? Do you want to use a 5-year-old phone? And that got me thinking, nope, I'm not. But I have a 5-year-old phone, and then I was thinking, can I use it? And after I used it, I finally understand what the slogan "far ahead" from Huawei fans for Huawei products really means. So let's get started with the review of the Huawei Mate 40 Pro in 2025. My Huawei Mate 40 Pro I bought actually a little bit later. It might be even 2021 maybe, or late 2020. So it came out in 2020, but I think I bought it later a little bit. It's still holding up quite nicely. I have the official case here. But yeah, it's a beautiful device. It's a device from another time. You can see like this 88-degree curve. The curved phones and the curved screens was definitely something to look at. And this looks just beautiful, stunning. Even in 2025, no issues at all. I still have the original screen protector on that you might see there. And the lenses there. It has a pill cut sharp shape already. And yet the autofocus is a bit of wobbly because I have another mystery device that I'm recording this video with. That is also from 2020. There we have still the Leica Corporation on Huawei. We have this nice camera ring there with a periscope zoom lens, with a main camera sensor and an ultra-wide angle. They kept this same scheme basically 5 years later. The red accent power button, the volume rocker there that had to move a little bit to the back because we have this very, very curved kind of display. The display is still beautiful, but not any more up to date to 2025 standards. We have here 90 Hz maximum, not 120 Hz. It's a bit of a bummer, but still it's very fluid, the system that is running here. And yeah, occasional stutters happened like we saw maybe now, but if I open it up again with the loading time of the feed there, it is gone. So yeah, this here is the international model, and this here comes with an operating system that is a bit familiar still. It's an EMUI, but it's not the newest version. This here is EMUI 13, as you can see. The other thing that you can see is, even though I have this display raised to the maximum in terms of brightness, it is outdoors, especially when it's sunny, not too bright. MotionEye 13 here, the latest update that I got here is the one that brings us the security patches of October 2024. So yes, I wouldn't use this device for anything bank related or serious work where you have to do something that is very, very protected. But calling, no issues with this one here. Surfing the net, no issues at all. Look at the, maybe I go back here, you can see it a bit better. Look at the 5G reception. Yes, this is one of the last devices that Huawei officially could ship with 5G on board. There's even a 5G toggle here that allows us to toggle the 5G modem inside of here. And this brings us a nice speeds. I have now a 5G connection, but I have a bit of like, when I go even into speed test, you will notice that it is a bit of slow. Just because my prepaid SIM card here is limited to I think 30 or 40 Mbit per second. Speed, I cannot type correctly. Let's do it correctly here, speed test. So yes, this device here in 2025 can still be used also on the 5G network. You can see here Deutsche Telekom network, and it should give me the full speed that I have, even a bit more, 50 Mbit per second. So this is the maximum. This is probably the one that is like limited to 50 Mbit per second in downloads. But yeah, 5G 2025 still working and rocking on the Mate 40 Pro. Definitely you can see the wear and tear on this case with parts of it broken, as you see here, especially the edges is a weak point. that on the top edge you don't see so much, but on the bottom it is breaking. At least it broke here off on one side. The rest is fine, I think. And yeah, case is holding nicely. Otherwise, camera bump protection as well. So yeah, so far for a 5-year-old phone with the case on, not too bad. But what about the software, you ask? Besides the older Emotion UI 13, that still feels a lot hell of like familiar also to Emotion UI 14 and 15 users. Just a little bit of elements that have they moved around, and it's called super devices here already. There was, I think, Emotion UI 12 through 13 where they changed it to Device Plus, from Device Plus to super devices. Anyway, it's still working nice also with the ecosystem of Huawei. And I have a bit of an issue with Emotion UI 13 because it doesn't allow micro G spoofing. So I have to rely on the likes of Gbox. It's still working. So Google Play Store, I can download, install apps, just like the Google app itself, that will then show a little bit of a loading screen if you start it up the first time, and loads then stuff from the net. But you can see it's working fine. So if you have a bit of patience, it's working fine for those Google apps. The native apps, however, are working fine. Like you saw, the web browser is working fine. Even here, YouTube Revanced, that I packaged myself, is nicely loading stuff. And someone talking about the Nubia Z6. I have to just... I always want to get this phone, but yeah, I can see my comments, I can read stuff, I have the possibility to watch videos here without any issue. And everything in general is running pretty smooth. It is 90 Hz only. You will notice that when coming from 120 Hz, but it's working. Technically, also my banking apps should work without any issues. This is the banking app that allows me most of the time just check my account basically, and how much money I have on my account, so my balance, my level. But the other apps I probably would not use too much. But Curve I could just install as well if I want to use it, so there's nothing hindering me to do it. The app gallery still provides updates on a regular basis, and I get even the possibility to click on update to download all the updates there. There's some updates that it tells me that you can update from APK Pure. It has XAPK support still. Some apps that I'm allowed to install here. And yeah, technically nothing is stopping me from just using Curve eventually and install Curve, the mobile wallet there as well, and use it for NFC payments. So this is still working very nicely. I have X, I have Reddit working, WeChat, Telegram, and all the other apps that you can see here that are still working fine on this device. Yeah, Signal, not so much without the micro G spoofing. So yeah, you have a bit of a limit, but you can use, of course, Gbox. Though Gbox and Signal don't, it is like draining too much battery. This is one issue, but I can tell you, and you won't believe it, it's running 5G, it's running with the SIM card here. But when you take a look at the battery level, it's 5-year-old phone. It's at 23%, it has 4 hours remaining still, but you can see that I have it like 40 minutes on now today. It's like 12 o'clock. I'm running this for 3 days already. This is the 3rd day now. I have to charge it now on the 3rd day. I was running, I was doing my stuff, social media. I was not watching too much video because video will drain the battery massively here. But because it's only running at 90 Hz, it still can be one day, even for heavy users, definitely a phone to be dealt with, which is quite interesting. And the other thing is, what I was very interested is battery health, because of a battery health option here, and hopefully you can see it, battery health 99%. So yeah, even though I was like intensively using it more than 2 years, and then more or less it was lying in a drawer now, and occasionally I've got it out to check the updates or do camera comparisons, it is still at 99%. Apple, you seen it? This is unbelievable. And yeah, it has wireless charging, fast wireless charging. I think the charging is still faster than what Apple and Samsung are providing for their flagship phones in 2025, which is tremendous effort here from Huawei as well. And probably you're also interested in the cameras here. Are the cameras still 2025 worthy? Let's check it out with a little camera test. And what better way to start it off by using the front-facing cameras here. Cameras actually is like a 3D actually face unlock in a pill-shaped cutout. that has all the nice features, like also the possibility that I will show you later on that even modern Honor phones are still providing, which are very, very cool, especially if you're lying in bed. But let's check out the front-facing camera. 0.8 times magnification. I can go also to wide. This one here probably has worst stabilization there. I can go to 1x then, which has the best stabilization here on this device. It's still, I think, okay. On screen it looks okay. It doesn't have autofocus, I think. I don't think it has autofocus, which is one of the bummer. But 0 times 8 times, you can see the microphone that I'm using here. Huawei Mic 2, by the way, very good microphone. Good stabilization, can be still used for 2025. HDR also a little bit there. Yeah, let's check out the back-facing video cameras. And this is the back-facing video camera, and this is a specialty from Huawei, because Huawei was on the trip with the Mate 30 and the successors, especially also the Mate 40 Pro, to use so-called cine lenses. I think they had 18mm roughly field of view. They're very nice for vlogging as main camera sensors, very large sensors, 1/1.5-inch size sensors, and I think this one is as well. This is a 20 megapixel sensor as far as I'm aware. Still very nice. I think the Mate 30 Pro is slightly bit better in terms of quality here, but even now for 2025, this year, as a vlogging cam, perfectly working fine. You get a bit of nice background blur. You have a bit of wider field of view, which is quite nice. Reminds me a lot of the modern days, last year's Nubia Z60 Ultra. That is in the same ballpark roughly. I made a ultra-wide angle camera comparison with all the ultra-wide angles, including the Mate 30 Pro, so the predecessor of this one here. Still very, very nice looking here and no issue at all. But I can also, if I want to, switch to the 1x lens. This is 27mm, however, so first of all I don't have a button, I have to slide and zoom a bit. So this is now 1x. It's a bit more cropped in, as you see here. It's 27mm lens, and it's, I think, cropped in a little bit more than you would like to have for vlogging. But it has, I think, a larger sensor here, 1/1.28-inch size sensor. So basically the same that we have in 2025, not in the Ultras, but in the Pro models, like the Xiaomi 15 Pro, the Xiaomi 15, the Vivo X200 Pro, and others. So the same sensor size that we have in super flagships in 2025. Of course, granted, better tech. They put in newer sensors. They had a little bit less of this noise floor, especially in darker conditions. But at daylight, even this sensor can be used very nicely without any issues. So this is this one. But what about zoom? And this is, I think, one of the weakest spots of this Huawei. Let's try to zoom in on something. Let's try to zoom in maybe on this flag there. And first of all, we don't have a button. We have to zoom in like slowly, like this here. One point at 5x, it's switching lenses. Then I can zoom in up to 15x. Still not too bad, not too shabby. I think others are like at 4K 30 frames per second. Yeah, they're rolling out this at 10x only. But this one here, 5x, it is switching lenses, I think. There we go, switch lenses, and we can go up to 15x here. Stabilization is okay, I would say. Detail level is not so much. But yeah, it is granted. Let's go back to the ultra wide angle. That this one here was a true flagship before ultras were a thing. This one was the ultra from Huawei, and these are some of the video examples here right now. But what about photos? Let's take a look at photos as well. And look at this. Yes, this slideshow that you will see just in a second has been created on the Mate 40 Pro using pedal clip that is on board, and I can just talk my audio now onto it and have then the ability to have my video narrated. I'm impressed by the portrait shots and cutouts that are very accurate, and the bokeh doesn't look too artificial and my face looks nice. The ultra wide angle has nice HDR, the main camera shot as well. The colors look very decent. The zoom shots are also okay, up to 5x, which is like the 5x decent lens. 10x is okay still, but you can see it's degrading in terms of the quality there. Macro shots, it doesn't have particularly well macro. Ultra wide angle is looking nice, but you can get away with macros with the telezoom lens if you trick a little bit, or the ultra wide angle. Another very cool feature is smart sensing. So we have the 3D face unlock there and the pill cutout shape, and what it can do is multiple things. You have the possibility to use grab shots, just like this here. That is still a thing on Huawei devices nowadays, and this was one of the first phones that introduced it. But also the ability, when I'm lying in bed to watch a movie without the orientation to be changing all the time, is definitely also something to look at this. So if I go and take a look at one of my videos, let's lower the audio, you can see it's playing back like this. But as soon as I turn my head a bit, you will see it is like switching the orientation, because now it thinks I'm lying on bed. And if I go straight with my head again, it is switching the orientation again. So very nice feature that they introduced here with this pill cutout shape, and that is still very useful and usable nowadays. I think the only brand that is doing this still besides Huawei is Honor, that is using the same tech on their current Honor Magic flagship. Where you see the age of the device mostly is the camera software, and here's where I really wished we had the Chinese version that ships with HarmonyOS 4.2 or at least 14.2 Emotion UI Global. So I can press here 5x zoom, 10x zoom. You see there's no zooming out or in, it just has a nice animation when you go to the ultra wide angle. That's it. So it is a bit of a bummer here, and also the camera software. If you wanted to change your video settings, you have to go to your settings there and then go and change the resolution and frame rate, which is not ideal. So yes, this is where you can definitely see the age a little bit there in terms of the camera software. Otherwise, we have 3D face unlock, the pill cutout shape there that is working every time for me. And if it is not working, I have my fingerprint reader, and it's an optical one, but it's placed at really a very good angle, as you see here, right in the middle of the screen, basically almost in the middle of the screen, a little bit lower, but very good that I can hold it very comfortably to unlock the device. And yeah, unlocking is working fine. Software that's running here in terms of fluidity and speed is also not shabby at all. Yes, it cannot compete with the flagships of nowadays, but all apps are running, including games, not in the highest settings, but still respectable. And I promised you a mystery device. It's not Timmy. This is the mystery device. Can you guess what it is? Also released 2020. I bought it in New Zealand actually when I was there. This is the Huawei Mate Xs. So the first foldable by Huawei, also made in 2020. And here you can see, the other side of the screen, I have this nice case that they made for the XS2, I think. And when they announced the XS2, they also announced that the Mate Xs users will still get this case. Yeah, and you can press the button here and it will slowly open up there. And this is still in working condition. I don't have the protection screen there, but as you can see here, yes, I used to, let's get this, no issue with the display at all. It's a bit dim for sure. It's even dimmer than the one on the Mate 40 Pro. But I used this for recording the video, so just as you see, I'm not cheating here. And this one I used for vlogging extensively when I was in New Zealand, because yes, you have the ability, and this is something that they, later on I think on the Mate XS2, they took away. There's no camera on the front, as you see here, so what you have to do when you're going into the camera application is, let me show you this quickly, you are going here and it will tell you to turn around the device. If you turn it around, you have the whole camera user interface here, and this is how you can start vlogging. And this is what I used extensively when I was in New Zealand back in the day. Video mode, and then hit the vlogging button. You can see it's even intelligently only putting aside, using a small portion, and then I can record here. And after I finished recording, I have my preview here, so I can just tap on it and it will start my preview here. I can press here to go to the other window, or I can just go back to the camera again to record another video. So yes, also released a marvelous piece of tech. Leica tech still there. Also 3 cameras there. Nice for zooming in. Ultra wide angle and a zoom camera there. Very similar setup, of course smaller cameras, but still very nice to use even in today's market. The Mate Xs. This one, however, I would not use nowadays anymore. Not for as a phone. I mean, has 5G as well, but what it is lacking is definitely software support. Why? Because this software is even older. It is not running Emotion UI 13 even. This one here is, when you go check the latest update, Emotion UI 12. And this here has been updated last time, security updates of, what is it? It doesn't even state here, but I think it's the beginning of 2024. So yes, it's even older in terms of those matters there. So yeah, this is definitely something that you will notice. Also 60 Hertz display only. So yeah, this is a bummer, but for vlogging and for recording videos, definitely still worth it. And yes, this video that I recorded of the Mate Xs is recorded on the Mate 40 Pro. Yes, you still can use it for recording videos without any issues in 2025, and yeah, or even running a channel if you want to on old Huawei devices. And this shows something what they meant with far ahead, because this device here, the Mate Xs, if I show it to someone, to strangers or something like this, and show the possibility to open it up, use it as a foldable phone, is still getting the same looks everywhere. Everyone wants to touch it, everyone wants to check it out. It is thin as hell, as you can see here. People are talking about the 4mm and so on, and the new Samsung Galaxy Fold that is super thin. This one here was already ahead of its time because it's so thin and lightweight for its time. And the crease, almost non-existent. This is Huawei's answer for the Fold that was inwards folding. And yes, we have this technology that they invented here and improved here with the Mate Xs, XS2, also in the Mate Xt. And this device is also very sturdy and running very nicely, as far as I'm aware, from people that have it. They're very excited about using it every day. So this shows also how far ahead Huawei was. But it had its flaws, of course. It was the first global available foldable phone from Huawei. The Mate X was not available globally, only in China, and they showed a little bit of flaws. They reinvented a little bit the hinge after the flaws got exposed on the Mate X. And they did some changes with software, so there's only one bottom firing speaker. At one point, when you were holding it like this, they're also enabling this speaker here on the top, but was never mentioned to be or meant to be a speaker there, so it is not very good sounding. So we don't have the stereo sound that you nowadays would expect. But everything else, like fingerprint reader on the side, check, it's still something that foldables are using today. Volume rocker here. The vloggability with those cameras is still, I think, an experience that in this regard hardly to come by, because if you have those foldables that are folding inwards and you have to fold them out to fold them, then have to like the whole screen exposed, I think it's even harder to use than this here. So basically what you have to do is, if I can demonstrate it to you, hold it like this on the modern. This one, if I don't have this case, I can just hold it like a normal phone. No one will notice it. So it has some benefits, and I hope that Huawei at one point has the guts to bring this back or reinvent this, make this a little bit like sturdier. Like I said, this is very sturdy. I only had to like peel off the screen protector at one point because I was at the beach and the sand, beach and pocket didn't work together. Nowadays I just put it in the pocket without any issues, and yeah, it's still rocking very nicely. Battery is a bit weak, I have to say. Was a bit weak when it came out. It's still a bit weak, has 5G support, but I wouldn't put my SIM card in there, use it as a really daily device. First of all, it's very heavy. Even if it's like this, it's still like feels like a normal but heavy phone, and where everything is getting a little bit slimmer here. I really like to use it because it's 8-inch. If you open it up for reading books, for reading home pages, websites, emails, such things, because there it really shines, this 8-inch, and indoors most of the time, because outdoors it's just simply too dim lit. But still, this shows also how far ahead Huawei was with the first attempt on a foldable. And yeah, the Mate 40 Pro, definitely far ahead. This is a device that if I would bring it out with modern specs, I would bring modern operating system on it, Harmony OS Next even, would still be very top-notch device. And yeah, it is still tremendously good with the cameras. It shows how far ahead they were with cameras back then. The processing, maybe in terms of zoom, I think Vivo is doing a lot better there. Also, maybe with the newer devices. I did not check the Pura 80 Ultra Chinese version yet, but could be that they are beaten by Vivo and their processing there. Everything else here is running nicely, and you saw the pictures, you saw my experience report, you saw the battery level, still running strongly here on the Mate 40 Pro. So if you like such videos, I have lots of other older devices, also some that are 5 years old, but I wouldn't really use. Huawei devices, however, 5 years old. Maybe besides iPhones, there are some iPhones that are maybe 5 years old, like the iPhone XR, the XS, that can be still somehow, somewhat be used. But I would rather go with this device because it feels still so modern in 2025 and usable as a vlogging tool, as an everyday device. Performance is definitely there still, even though it's on a mid-range level right now. Yeah, if I would be low on budget, low on money, I would get one of those here for $100 or something like this and use it for until I have enough money or collect enough money for starting my YouTube career or YouTube channel or something like this and get it going, because it's still so damn good. So what do you think about this review of the Mate 40 Pro? It's not really a review, but this revisiting of the Mate 40 Pro. Do you have fond memories of this one? I heard one guy complaining about the antennas being weak. I didn't have this issue here, at least in Europe. I did not use it in New Zealand because I bought it after I came back to Europe, I think. So yeah, what do you think about the Mate 40 Pro? Write it down in the comment section. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye. And of course, I'm cutting this video here in KineMaster on my original Huawei MatePad Pro, also from 2020. This is why we have this watermark of KineMaster there, because yeah, this one is the Chinese version. If you scroll in my timeline of my YouTube videos, you will see when I bought it. It's still, the video is still up and it's just in German. That's the only difference there. It's running HarmonyOS version 4.2.0.208, so pretty new. And this is one of the things that if you would have bought everything, every little device here, the Mate XT, the Mate 40 Pro that's currently recording, and the MatePad Pro in China, you would still have the latest and greatest HarmonyOS 4.2 running there with all its nice features and abilities. This is just 60 Hertz. You're hearing the internal mics of the Mate 40 Pro. Yeah, this little sidekick to those who are wondering how did I cut the video and why is there a watermark. Yes, I could remove the watermark. I have to sign in via my Google account, which is not working here. So I can just try again, but something went wrong. So yeah, not working like this.